Good evening.
How you doing, Mayor Gert? My name is Charles Hardy, 15 Harold Drive. So I got two resolutions that I want to speak on. I want to speak first about the one, the resolution for the blacks. I support that resolution. I just ask that maybe you put it on table for 60 days, right? You put it on table for 60 days and give everybody an opportunity so we can work on an ordinance together as a community. So nobody won't feel left out. Get more of our black commissioners involved with it, because they know the black community. The black commissioners get involved with it, because they know the community. Now, I wasn't gonna speak on this right here, but I want the public to kind of know what's going on. I support also Resolution 19. I'm looking at these people coming up here talking about their classes center. That classes center ain't for us, for one. And for number two, they're $150 million in the hole. So whoever made the decision, now I'm saying this so the people that watching can understand this too. I ain't never seen Charlie Maddox come in here, Gwen Looney, none of these people come in here until you start trying to get on their board to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're $150 million in the hole. And it's gonna come from taxpayers' money. Whoever came up with this, I don't know who made the resolution, who made the recommendation, but I think it's time for now to put some commissioners in a part of that classic center so we can see where our money going. $150 million, y'all done took out three bonds now. 3 bonds, $150 million. You know how many people we can house and get off the street and feed with $150 million? But y'all pouring into this classic center.
I do a lot of other things in the community here. First of all, I would like to tell you, I'm not a minority. Do you understand that? My people have been here before all y'all came here. My people didn't come from Africa. My people right here. Who built Athens? Who built Georgia? The same ones you call minority. We're indigenous. We're not Africans. Y'all call out things that call majority when the majority is a class. Why does the majority continuously make everything white by everybody being classified as white that comes to this country? Why is that? Why is it always you got the Hispanics turned white on the census? You got every single person that comes in this country turns white, and then you continuously make us a minority? You can't make nobody a minority that ain't afraid of you. I'm just letting you know. We're not afraid of you. What, are you looking at me wrong, man? Don't look at me like that, please. Please, please, you give me bugs. I'm letting you know. We're not playing with y'all. I told y'all that before when I came up here. And I'm gonna tell you again. We're not playing with you. We're tired of you playing with our money. We're tired of you playing with our time. We got to come up here every time for y'all to do something messed up because you want to do it. Not because it was done for the people in this community, but what you decide that you want to do. Like you took the $200 million away from T-Spots and decided to give them $60 million. What the use you have in the daggone community? You only give them $60 million. You took $200 million from the people. What's wrong with y'all? Boys, Girls, and Girls Club doesn't have the proper facility. You got parents out here got to pay $60 to $80, $90, $100 for their kids to play football. Do you see what y'all doing? And then you wonder why you got crime. You got crime because you took all the daggone programs and put them into colleges and think that the kid can have the money to pay for it to go to class. But you want to stop crime. You are the crime. You're the criminals.
Was one, high poverty, ongoing poverty,
and minority neighborhoods without special programs to help. 2, limited capital access. Hardly any loans or grants available for minority folks and businesses. 3, neglected infrastructure, poorly maintained neighborhoods, and subpar services and transit options that hurt growth. 4, no job training, few and no job training programs designed for minority communities. 5, leadership gaps, low representation of minorities in local government and economic roles. 6, lack of engagement, minimal outreach to involve minority communities in economic planning. AADM did not come up with the need to do this. There was a research report done in 2023 by MGT Consulting Group that backs these issues, showing these big gaps in access for minority and women-owned businesses. So to fix these situations, we need more fair practices, more fair policies. We need the government to focus on smart investments and changes to support its most vulnerable residents in growth that supports everybody. Tonight we're here to ask you to support this resolution, and you're going to hear people that's in opposition of this resolution that want ordinance instead. But I want you to know we want an ordinance also. But we feel like this is the process that you have to take from our experience working with the government. And we're willing to work with anybody to get that ordinance or get these laws that you guys may feel you want other than this resolution. But tonight, we feel like we need the majority of you guys to admit what this report said and commit to putting something forth to change these issues. And that's pretty much all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Item number 15. The church I pastor, Oconee Street United Methodist Church, is located just across the river here in East Athens. And so we have a front row seat to some of the most pervasive gentrification currently happening in the historically black East Athens neighborhood. Even while Triangle Plaza in East Athens is less than 2 miles away from the UGA Arch, last year UGA's Community Mapping Lab described East Athens as a food desert, as poorly funded schools, little public transportation access, poor infrastructure resulting in a high poverty rate. This is where we serve, and it's about a mile from where I'm standing right now. Now, Oconee Street founded the local mission Our Daily Bread. We have members that serve there at least twice a month. Members of our church support through bail funds and provide bail assistance to folks who are sitting in jail because they can't afford $5 and $10 bail funds. Members also organize a court watch program. They observe regularly proceedings at our courthouse. This past month, in extreme cold weather, we had a number of unhoused individuals join us on Sunday mornings just during our services, looking for a place to come out of the cold, have a cup of coffee, find a little support and community. And amongst all of these ministries, the racial disparities are stark. By and large, those who we serve in these missions come from our black communities in our city. Evidence of the ongoing, pervasive black minority inequities in this town is not hidden. It is very close to us. Last year, Easy Street Capital named Athens the 3rd best city in Georgia for real estate investors, not residents, investors. So they wrote, the large population of students creates a year-round need for long-term and short-term rental demand. Also in Athens, they wrote, investors can take advantage of the city's fast-growing rents. Investors who do not live here are gathering up local housing as an income stream for themselves, and they are targeting historically black neighborhoods. We all know this. And I'm extremely grateful for the faithful work of AADM, so many to address these disparities, but respectfully, we are calling on you all now to battle. That we know the anger, we know the rage that will come when we tell these folks who are here to make money, no, we're gonna put protections in place for our residents. I'm asking you to be willing to face that anger. Battle on behalf of the residents, not just for a few of us, but for all of the residents in this town. Anti-gentrification ordinances, investing in underfunded schools, protecting equitable access for black business owners and leaders. This resolution is a good first step to that commitment.
If I plant an apple seed, can I expect an orange tree to sprout? Today, we see widespread disparities, the loss of generational wealth, and the continuous exclusion of certain groups from access to economic opportunity such that it impairs their upward mobility. This is especially true for black and brown people, women, and minority-owned businesses with generations of families living in perpetual poverty. In assessing the economic and social history of Athens, you will find that there are patterns of behavior that are persistent throughout time that have led us here, just as much research across the U.S. has found. We cannot simply sweep under the rug slavery and forced labor, which was instrumental in constructing and developing Athens. Post-slavery economic suppression, the Klan was active throughout the early 1900s in business and in the government. 3, racial massacres, town destruction, and governmental sanctioned displacement. Here, that was Lennon-Town, and just an hour from here, that was Lake Lanier. 4, violence and suppression of black wealth. This was seen through the intimidation tactics of the Klan, lost home ownership and rights to land, as well as restricted access to loans and predatory loans. 5, economic racism and exploitation, which has impaired black people's access to education and employment opportunities. This represents over 3 centuries of constant economic assault on black and brown people. The history is undeniable, but more importantly, it's not just the history. It is still happening right now, and perhaps unknowingly, we participate and perpetuate these effects. We see it in the disparity studies, which I've gone through and looked at across the United States, in which here, specifically in Athens, you had about 50 times the amount of money being spent with non-minority male businesses. It's in the poverty rate, right, where blacks and browns are experiencing poverty at higher rates. It is in the housing insecurity, in the education, and the youth outcomes. So, my closing statement: for too long, there have been seeds of racial and economic inequality planted and cultivated in Athens and across the U.S. These disparities we see today are not accidental, they are systemic. They are the strange fruit of past injustices. So just as we shouldn't expect to sow an apple seed and reap oranges, we should not expect the seeds of the past to yield anything but strange fruit. We are not bound to this harvest, though. We can do something specific and directly to rectify and course correct. We have the power to plant new seeds, but if we don't act now, we are knowingly cultivating another generation of inequity rooted in racism. Let's choose that in Athens. Life is not a zero-sum game, and be the generation that disrupts the cycle in this community.
I'm here to speak on behalf of the item 15 that's on the agenda tonight. I commend everyone that worked on this resolution. It's definitely a step in the right direction. I have no doubt that the hearts and hands that helped craft this resolution is in the right place. But I now just respectfully ask that the commission table the vote for at least 60 to 90 days to give the community, city attorney, and the commission an opportunity to turn the resolution into a city ordinance to adopt in 2025. This is something good. Again, this is a step in the right direction. We would just like to be able to build upon this. That's why we're asking for you all to not to vote on it tonight, give at least 60 to 90 days to get more people involved. Because again, I definitely feel this is a step in the right direction. It's kind of like you're getting ready to eat a steak off the grill. You don't want to just gobble it down. You're going to eat your favorite red velvet cake, or ice cream and peach cobbler. You just don't gobble it down real quick and just swallow. You sit back, you chew on it, you bite on it, you eat it slow to really absorb the taste and enjoy it. So I'm just asking for you all to slow down, at least give 60 to 90 days for the community to kind of look at this and turn it into something more than a resolution, turn it into an ordinance that we can build upon. That's that. Also, as a side note, I've heard a lot tonight about black, white, yellow, and color. I hate that we still live in a society that we're still characterizing ourselves as a color in a crayon box. You know, we're more than that. And our DNA tells us we're more than that. We're brothers and we're sisters, regardless of black, white, yellow. And the reason why I know this, our DNA tells us this.
This resolution on the surface may sound pretty good, but real causes are being exploited by hidden agendas. This has been the case over and over for many years here in Athens at the cost of the poor, the struggling middle class, and the older Athenians. This resolution outlines some of the same topics that have been covered by other resolutions, topics that are also covered by the Constitution of the United States. We live in a left-leaning city of active Democrats, liberals, and progressives. It votes blue most of the time, I should say all of the time. So why are we having so many issues over the same topics? Could it be that having causes is the way to advance hidden agendas that favor only the few? The select few would need to have minorities or repressed groups involved and their causes. and there would have to be some solid points in the resolution so that the minorities could get on board with it, which this resolution does have. For too long, minorities have trusted agendas coming from folk who look like them, but what would be in for them? What would it be in there for them? For selling an agenda that is contrary to the progress of their community, possibly a piece of the pie in the forms of funding for their organizations, recognition, a seat at the board, a ticket at a gala. These folk within these organizations could be very well pretending to serve the community when in fact they are serving themselves, while helping advance agendas that favor only a few. So after all the fluff in this resolution, it comes down to this, the pork. A request for the local government to continue making a commitment to give money to the same folk in the same name of a cause or causes, whatever the flavor of the month is, even though they have not brought any significant change or progress to their communities. As Athens has become more liberal, the poverty rate has risen. Last year, Athens had a 30% poverty rate. With all the money that has been invested, I would state again and again, accountability first. Let's leave the causes to the side and look at the numbers. Not one more dime or resolution until we start seeing some successes. Thank you.
Evening. Oh, God is good. I can feel the spirit in here. But, Lord help me. But the housing problem, y'all got to do something. Y'all going to have to do something. And y'all going to have to do something very soon because the time is winding down. I've been coming up here and I've been coming up here. What got me was, number 15 was, how did y'all come up with this? That's what got me. I want to know, how did y'all come up with this? Because I come in here practically every Tuesday night asking and begging and pleading, asking y'all to help us with affordable homes. But now that I seen number 15, revolution situation, I felt like it's a joke. The reason why I felt like it's a joke is because y'all hadn't did anything. I hadn't seen y'all do anything. People from Lexington Heights is still going through. People over down Bonnie Show Road is still going through. People still calling me and crying. Now, I'm right along with them. But I'm not homeless, but I'm not where I'm supposed to be because I got put out because the investor came in. So what have y'all done? I heard you talk about what all y'all done, but what I did? What did y'all do? Because I hadn't seen y'all do anything. No more than sit back here and laugh and pick it up about us coming up here and talking about homes. Kids need homes. You wonder about mental health? That's why it's mental health out here. Because they don't have nowhere to lay their head. They're going from house to house. That's the problem. See, you're not doing affordable home. I'm not asking y'all to do $1 home. I'm asking y'all to do something that people can afford to stay in and have a place to sleep. Y'all go home every night in y'all home. Y'all don't have to worry about the people out here on the street. Y'all don't have to worry about the investors coming in here and taking y'all place. But I got news for you. It's just a matter of time. Because what you do for the poor is what's going to come back at you. So if you're not going to stand by the poor, the Lord said, well, then I'm going to have to knock on your door. So when it comes to your door, you ain't going to like it. And I already see in the start as it is now. But I'm asking y'all, I have neighbors. All neighbors got taken away from us. Somebody that we came in a community together, knocked on the door that we were raised up. Knocked on the door. Do you have some water? Do you have some bread? Do you have some milk? These are the people that you need in your life. That's what neighbors is about. Neighbors are about people standing by one another, loving and caring for one another, being there for hard time. So I'm sick and tired of coming up here and talking about affordable homes. Everybody, just like the guy said up here, we ain't scared, we just tired.
Ms. Barbara, appreciate your time is up, but could you leave your name for the clerk for the
It's
record?
here. It's right here. Displacement. That's my address.
Good evening. Hello, my name is Sarah Gehring. I live at 140 Griffith Avenue. I'm here as a member of the Athens Urbanists and also the Athens Democrats. I'm here to speak to item 15. We're living in a time where the federal government and institutions across the country are trying to tell us all that women are inferior, that LGBT people are inferior, and most relevantly to today's agenda, that black people and all racial minorities are inferior. And mainstream media is supporting this by going along with their euphemistic language about DEI. They're saying that we can't talk anymore about the fact that while we are created equal, we are born into inequality in this country. The people of Athens say no, we will not go back. We need you, our representatives, to show that to the world. No matter what the rest of the country tries to do, Athens is moving forwards towards equality for BIPOC communities. I support the specifics of this resolution. I appreciate how specific it is. In my particular area of interest in housing security, I support all 4 stub items under that. I think it's incredibly important that we prioritize the development of subsidized affordable housing, that we continue efforts to attain rental assistance funding, that we develop and equitably apply zoning and housing policies to prevent displacement and gentrification, and to ensure that residents can stay in their communities. And that we continue to prioritize funding the development of this new housing that is subsidized, that is affordable. We will continue to see for-profit market rate housing built in Athens, and we need to continue to support that with subsidized housing as well, because as we know, new market rentals are not affordable for everyone. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello, my name is Benny Coleman, and I'm here tonight listening to Tiffany. And I'm a supporter of what she said about not supporting any workforce, new homes be built. We need to deal with the people that have been living here all their lives who don't have anywhere to stay. If anything should be built, we must consider them because they are left out of the equation that the city council and other people here that come to here to agree on. But if you've been living here all your lives and you're not able to afford to stay in your home, what else you got to look for? When you bring in people from out of state and the people here to take your property anytime they want it, as long as they flash money, it doesn't make any sense. In order to stop everything going on, what I call the madness, we need to stop all new developments right now for those new people coming in and deal with the people that have been living here all their lives. And when you say workforce, you got mothers who got kids. If you get a divorce from your wife, the judge will say she's working. If she got kids in her home, that's a job. So you must consider that. And you also must consider people who are on retirement, Social Security, disability. That is a job, but the term workforce is kind of shady when you bring that in to the equation. And I plead to you, and especially my friend up here, the attorney, please look one more time on the grandfather law very carefully, because I was taught 69 years old that grandfather law, once it is given, especially if to a black family, it cannot be changed. And when someone buys that property, the same condition rolls on. That's what I think. Now, I'm not an expert like him. That's why I ask him one more time, please, for my sake, get the definition and let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Regarding the policy proposal titled Resolution to Address Black Minority Communities, which is on this February 4th agenda, the policy proposal has been presented multiple times and has not garnered sufficient support from the American Freedmen community. The proposal appears to have been authored in bad faith. As the author used the AFBI ordinance and sought support from AADM while keeping the language intentionally vague to allow further exploitation by individuals who do not qualify as part of the impacted communities, in short, specificity is necessary. The AFBI ordinance was created with sole purpose of addressing historical disparities affecting specific impacted groups. As someone who has engaged with many people in the community, I can attest that only a select few were made aware of this proposal listed on item 15. And the public speaker who in prior meetings claimed to represent the community did not do so honestly. Proposals like this are damaging to American freedmen, as they open doors for unimpacted individuals to divert much-needed focus and resources. It also further exploitive actions and maturation of historical and current undermining. The policy is no different from DEI initiatives, which have often led to further disenfranchisement and discrimination against American freedmen. While DEI initiatives aim to address historical inequities and promote representation, the benefits have not evenly been distributed. Data and studies suggest that Asian Americans, white women, and immigrant communities have primarily benefited from DEI and affirmative action policies, rather than the historically marginalized groups these programs were initially designed to support. Despite being a primary group targeted by historical civil rights legislation, American freedmen have seen limited benefits from DEI and affirmative action policies. There are persistent gaps in wealth, education, employment outcomes for this group. For example, white women and groups inclusive under the terms minority and BIPOC have made significant gains in corporate leadership roles in academia, often at the expense of Black Americans, particularly American freedmen. It is important to note that the legal term American freedmen is race neutral and completely identifies a historically harmed group.
15, the resolution, Mocha you did an excellent job on writing it, but the Bible says when you hurt someone, you should apologize. Mocha and I, we agree on the essence of the resolution, but we differ on how we're going to get there. She wants a resolution. I want it to be more concrete with an ordinance. I sent people to tell you that, but they use their own agenda to keep you away from me. So I just wanted you to know that if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry.
I remember when a group of Black elderly people came here and begged us not to allow a development in their neighborhood on Nottingham. I remember that, Black folk. I remember certain commissioners explaining why it would be better for that neighborhood. I remember when Lenintown became an issue. I remember a commissioner who didn't support it. I remember when District 2 did not have representation after a commissioner left. And a certain group of folk moved that they did not have representation for 6 months. That's what I meant, and I didn't want to go there. And again, I ain't call no names. That's what I meant when I said, how can I believe what you say when I watch what you do?
I appreciate all of the hard work that everybody's done with this resolution, from the original creation of the resolution to even some of the language being changed within the resolution. But as a born and raised and grown Athenian, we deserve better. We deserve better. I'm not saying that this resolution, it is a push towards what we deserve. I wrote a resolution a few months ago about gun violence and about how we were going to help our youth. We've still had shootings since that resolution that resonates so close to me that I don't even know how I'm sitting up here. And I know a lot of people might say, well, she make a lot of stuff personal. Well, when you are born and raised in a city that you see is changing without you or without the people around you being included, not only included, but funded, properly funded, not $2 million here, not $3 million there when we're spending $50 million somewhere else. We as Black, homegrown Athenians, and if you feel offended that I keep saying homegrown, then maybe go home, respectfully. It's personal to me because I am raising 5 children that could potentially also be ousted in a place where they were born and raised in, because people feel like they know what's best for us. Now, this resolution is a great start. It's a great piece of work. Everything that is in here is intentional to push the agenda for Black and brown people to be included, not just included for a limited amount of time, or when we get some side funds, now we want to give you money, but always intentionally. And so I'm big on impact. I want to see impact. I don't want this to just be another document that goes into a folder that says, oh, well, we passed it for y'all, but we're not seeing the fruits of what's been passed. And so I second your motion. I mean, no disrespect to anybody who wrote it, who pushed for it, who showed up here tonight to speak on behalf of it. But we deserve teeth. We deserve weight behind what is expected for African American citizens of Athens, Clarke County. I'm a 5th generation. My great grandma was born here in 1912 and she died at 102. And so it's in me. This is what you see that grows from the concrete of Athens, Clarke County. District 3 Commissioner Tiffany Taylor. I am the root, I am the fruit. And we deserve better. And so within 60 days, if we can get together and make sure that, I know. We just need to get together and put some teeth behind it so that it can be enforced. And if anyone feels like what I'm saying is too much, then you're a part of the problem.
Move for ordinance. We're getting ready to go into budget season. So, but I'll say 60 days, but I know we're going into budget season. The authors, not support staff from the commission, but the authors and the concerned folk that brought this for us, I'm asking that there is a meeting with us. I did hear one person tell me they're never invited around the table.